So, for this episode, I kind of get flashbacks to a certain season 1 where we have a dragon on the loose, a village in peril, and Naofumi and his allies having to work to stop this dragon from causing any more harm. Before we get into that, let's go over what happened to lead to the events of just Naofumi kind of being cornered by an actually stronger dragon. So we have the crew discussing on how they're going to deal with the Galleon situation, since it's a pretty good chance that the Emperor Dragon has taken over, the zombie dragon. So we have Naofumi placing Rat as the one in charge of the village and saying that he'll send a Sine if she needs her. And then we have Eclair coming in to alert Naofumi that something's wrong with Filo. This basically goes back to season 1 when Filo had eaten one of the crystals, being a part of the Emperor Dragon's thing, as well as Naofumi having absorbed that as well into his shield, which comes into play later. So we have Filo basically worse for well, basically worse than the Curse series, going back to season 1 when she was kind of in a rage state similar to Naofumi. Atla comes in and is able to somewhat delay the dampening flow of power, which sort of allows Filo to gain back some conscience. Granted though, this only caused her to go one level down. Well, the whole thing that's going on right now, the slowing down the whole darkness dragon crystal that's infecting her, which, I mean, as Naofumi says, even lowering one level is only lucky, because Filo's basically on a time limit. So we have Naofumi says, alright, Filo's gonna stay and recover while him and Raphtalia kind of go off to stop Galleon, and Filo kind of just gets this sort of quote-unquote burst of energy of not wanting to be left behind. So eventually everyone goes, even Melty, as she wants to help. So once they arrive to the village, it is interesting that, for one, I'm quite surprised that they didn't spot a Ren. Though I have a sneaky feeling that Ren probably disguised himself, or they just didn't recognize him, since I would assume they would be pissed at him due to the fact that in season 1, when he left the dragon dead, it eventually caused the plague, which was something Naofumi had told him back in season 1. Though what is interesting is having our other character, Windia, suddenly show complete anger towards the villagers. So, two characters are connected to one portion of season 1, the dragon area. So they end up heading to the den. Windia shows off her skills in magic against a creature and evaporates the living shit out of it. So it's showing just how capable she is. Filo is recovering, but eventually has that glowing thing, the curse shield stuff. Ren reflects back into the whole dragon stuff, the zombie dragon, the incident he had caused. And they're just showing that he's growing as a character. So I'm enjoying this part with Ren having development. I feel like Motoyatsu and Tsuki will eventually get development, with Motoyatsu kind of just stuck in his Curse series limbo. And Itsuki, well, when we get there, we'll discuss his situation. But for now, Ren is obviously wanting to atone, but Windia definitely has hate towards him, which I can kind of go and talk about it now. Windia hates Ren because Ren killed her father. She was being raised by the dragon that eventually Ren had killed, and Windia was eventually kidnapped by a few disgusting heathens. And yeah, she ended up being a slave from the looks of it, and Naofumi managed to save her. Which, oh man, there's a lot to unpack here. Ren, for the first part, is that now that he knows this information, and it's eventually apparent that the zombie dragon only awakened to try to protect Windia, it all connects. That is kind of getting ahead of myself, but I wanted to speak of that because I have mentioned about Windia before. But Ren and Windia end up in a little trouble. Ren saves Windia from it twice, actually. But before we get to that, we do get a battle with the dragon, Filo tries to fight at first, but is instantly knocked out and eaten. Sounds a lot familiar like Season 1. They try to slice the dragon up, and it instantly heals before kind of going into final boss mode. And yeah, everyone is attacking. The thing with the fight, I want to say, is that I like it. I like everyone's different type of abilities and showing off what they can do. I especially like when Melty is just fighting, because, you know, the younger princess that is destined to be queen out in the battlefield is usually fun. But we have Windia, basically. This is where we get Windia's backstory and her trying to get what she thinks is her father, that it's time to move on, to let Galleon, the dragon that's currently under her care, go, because, you know, it's a good dragon, a good boy. But this doesn't work. If anything, the Emperor Dragon just kind of attacks her. Ren takes one hell of a fucking hit. And yeah, this caused a problem because the Emperor Dragon now wants to destroy everything. And I am a little bit intrigued that it also decided to add in the hunting hero from last season, as well as the other characters from last season, from the other world. They're not bad characters, I won't say that. Like, they were pretty good in Season 2. It's just, you know, that season sucks. But that's not the point. Point is that they're all trying to get Filo before she gets killed. Naofumi notices that his defenses are just strong because, well, he's getting it from the shield he wields. So what he's gonna try to do is fail a power-up attempt, so that way it would weaken the dragon, but also weaken him. So he's gonna try to sacrifice himself for it. Unfortunately, the dragon notices that and completely fucking hacks Naofumi, and just is one of the most weirdest things that caught me so off guard, because I'm like, wow, I guess this is if a hacker is trying to fuck you up in a video game. So yeah, eventually the dragon just powers up, knocks a lot of them out, and just as Windia, Full, and Atla are about to be attacked, Naofumi goes to protect them, and it ends with a white screen. So what do I think about this? First of all, I like that we get more context into the whole thing with Ren. Since Ren is on a redemption path, we should kind of go back to a specific point that was something that he had acknowledged as his fuck up in Season 1, but now truly seeing the ramifications and taking the L. Actually, he took the L previously, but it didn't seem to resonate considering what happened to his team. But now that he's obviously much more better and finally understanding the whole this isn't a game, he's now seeing the consequences and is not only having to atone for them, but he has to live with them. We have the whole dragon returning, so we get another round with this creature. As if the first time wasn't hard enough, this time is a lot more tough. But it is pretty cool seeing everyone doing combo attacks, working together. That's just what I like. So Season 3 of Shield Hero seems to be keeping up with the potential that Season 1 had left off, which I'm happy about. Honestly, I can't wait for the next episode. I can't wait to see them kick this dragon's ass.